Well, I think as we look at life, one of the things we notice is that our mindset is so important in absolutely every area of life. And it's important because our mindset determines several things. Our mindset determines the way that we think. It determines the way that we understand what's going on around us. It determines the actions that we take. Our mindset determines what we believe, and it determines what we accept to be true. And we can see this illustrated in many areas of life. Thinking about the beginning of this school year, and I think many of our teachers out there can attest to this, but I think we can see it in the mindset of our children when it comes to their schooling. Regardless of whether they like school, their mindset goes a long way in determining their success in their education. If they think that school is a big waste of time, if they think that what they're being taught are lessons that they will never use in the real world, they probably won't do all that well. They won't pay attention, they won't do their work, and as a result, they won't succeed. However, if they understand the importance of a good education, and this is true even if they dislike school, they will likely do very well. If they understand the importance of good education, they'll work hard, and they will succeed. And the same is true in other areas of life, too. It's true when it comes to our daily responsibilities. Those things like cooking and cleaning and taking out the trash. If we think of these responsibilities as menial, if we think of them as unimportant, if we think that they are just mundane activities, what we're going to do more than likely is to neglect them and to let them slide. But if we consider these an act of love, if we believe that they are ways of ministering to our family and taking care of those that we love, then we'll be much more diligent in them. We'll perform them regularly as we seek to express our affection to our family members. We see the role of mindset also in relationships. Today we often see those who are focused on self-reliance and who are focused on independence. And usually these people don't do as well in relationships. They don't do as well because their mind is not focused on the needs and on the desires of the family as a whole. Instead, they are focused upon themselves. Their mind isn't focused on their role within the family, their role within the group. But the mind of those who are family-focused look to the needs and to the desires of the family as a whole, and not just their own. They willingly sacrifice themselves in order to meet the needs and to satisfy the desires of the family. One other example that came to mind as I was on this trip the last couple of weeks is when it comes to a simple thing when you sit down to a meal with others. You see, here in the United States, if you invite me over to dinner, and after the meal I help you to clear the table and to bring dishes into the kitchen, that is usually viewed as a sign of respect by the host. It shows that I am honoring them because I am willing to share part of the work. It shows that I don't want my host to be burdened by my presence. But one of the things I learned on this trip is that in India, for example, the opposite is true. In India, if you offer to help clean up after a meal, if you even take your plate into the kitchen, this is viewed as an insult to the host. And it's seen this way because, first of all, you're not allowing them to honor you. But more importantly, it's seen as an insult because you are doing their job. And when they see you doing their job, they take this as an expression of disapproval. You're telling them that they are not doing their job well enough, and so you are stepping in to do it for them. And so because of this, even though in my mindset I wanted to get up and help, I had to resist that urge, and I had to allow them to serve me, that I might minister to them. Our mindset is also crucial when it comes to our faith. It's crucial in determining, again, what we think and what we understand, what we believe, and even how our faith is expressed in our lives. And I think this is what we can see as we look at our gospel lesson for this morning in Matthew chapter 16. Now, prior to our text, we see up in verse 17 that Jesus, as he came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples what the people thought of him. He asked his disciples, who do the people believe that I am? And they responded, telling him that some of the people believed him to be John the Baptist, some of the people believed him to be Elijah or Jeremiah or one of the prophets. And then Jesus asked them what they thought. He asked who they believed. And Peter, speaking up on behalf of the disciples, said to Jesus, "You are the Christ." Now, as we read Peter's answer, we applaud it. We know that Peter knows. However, Jesus then did something very puzzling. He handed his disciples that he was the Christ. Now, as he would want everybody to know that the long-awaited Savior, that God tell us the exact. However, as we look at what was what the what he was, the people tended to believe that the Christ would be who is going to sit on the throne of David, restore. They believed that he would set up like a glorious to deliver them from their bondage, where the Romans that he had. This will never happen to you. Now, as we think about this, in one way, these words of Peter seem almost rude. And they seem rude because, after all, who is Peter to correct Jesus? Who is Peter to correct the Son of God? It seems that because of who he believed Jesus to be, because he believed Jesus to be the Christ, because he believed Jesus to be the Son of the living God, he should have been quick to receive the words that Jesus had spoken to him. Yet in another way, this response on the part of Peter shows the great respect that he had for his master. It shows the great honor that he had for Jesus. And it shows this because Jesus is the Savior, because he is the Son of God. He just could not believe that Jesus would suffer in this way. He could not believe that God would have to sacrifice his life. He didn't believe that Jesus should not the things of God, but instead he has in mind the things